Hi, welcome back. I just recorded a track. I think it'll be here or here, and you can go and check it out. Or you may have just heard a little bit of it if I started with it. Maybe I'll cut in a little bit now. No, let's just keep chatting. So that track just came from the idea of wanting to create some kind of amplifier worship, noise, something. I guess I've been listening to Sun's new album, and that was, like, okay, how can I do this without a guitar, without, the wall of amps? And I remember seeing a video by Cinematic Laboratory that was talking about the mutable instruments elements, which is what this is, the Atom. This is the after later audio clone of the mutable instruments elements. And in that video, I remember them saying about, you can turn this into kind of like a drone machine by sending a constant voltage to the gate input to leave the gate open all the time, and then essentially you're just letting the exciter component of it just go into the resonator side of it forever. And I've been doing that a little bit, and it's becoming like this feedbacky, loopy thing. And to do that, what I've been doing is I've been using the Iteritas Black Joystick 2 and sending out a kind of constant voltage to be able to open the gate. So instead of so this does have some gates on channel 3 and 4, and that's been a lot of fun, and I did another video where I was using that quite a bit, and that link will be here if you want to go and watch that one. But the idea was to not send a gate, but just to send a high voltage which would leave this open. And the other part of this is wanting to send some kind of complex source in, because if you think about a guitar, and if I'm going down this Sun as inspiration thing, the guitar is essentially a 6 oscillator synthesizer. So I really needed a complex sound source to be able to send into that. And so that's where the Scanned has come in. And I love the Scanned a whole heap. It's a super esoteric, strange oscillator sound source, almost a complete voice in a way, with all of the different controls that are here. But I just wanted it to be, doing its thing as a sound source into the Atom and creating a bit of a kind of a feedback. And then the other part that I needed from the sound source into the elements is some kind of overdrive, amp modeling, something. And that's where the Tonverk comes in. So the chain is scanned into the Atom, and then that's coming into the bluebox, and then I've got the mix down coming up out. There's a bit of a kind of crazy gain staging stuff going on to make it all work, but that's coming into the inputs of the Tonverk, and I've got that coming in on track 8. But I don't actually have any effects on track 8. So 2 reasons for that. First reason is the bluebox has got some great delay and reverb built in as effect sends, so I can do a lot of that just instantly through here, so I'm getting that kind of delay. So really what I wanted over here was I wanted some kind of overdrive and modeling something. And one of my favorite effects on the Tonverk is the filter folder. Now you might pick it here. What I've done is I've changed the first send to be the filter folder. And the reason that I wanted to do that was because if I just had it on track 8, it's got no wet dry. So I really wanted to be able to use it as a send to be able to control the level of effect that's going on the signal. Because it's not just these two things as sound sources. You can see I've got Plaits set up, I've got dust of time going through the QPAS setup. So all of these things are going to create this kind of really dense drone noise layer to be able to work with. And so just because I've only got stereos in, I am treating this as a blue box is a submix, and then that's all coming over to here. And then that enables here just to be able to send and choose the amount of signal that I'm going into the first send. Cool. The other things that I've got going on the Tonverk, I've got a kick, and I've got most things going through track 9 in with a compressor, and so I'm doing some side chaining here, and I've done that in a few other videos, and there are a couple of other videos out on YouTube that can show you that process if you want to do that process. But pretty much it's just choosing what your source is and then playing with your attack and release, your ratio, what your makeup is. And yep, so I got that. I've got a rumble. I've got a snare and some hi-hats. I've got my vocals through a Grainer. This is a sample of an old German video. I have recorded a bit of the atom drone feedback, atom scanned drone feedback thing into track 5, and I'm doing that with a whole bunch of filter spread to get some sort of extra panning, so that when this is going on and playing, this is creating another layer. And I've also got an octave down, so it at some points kind of creates this sort of paddy sort of sound. And that's it. I've got nothing on 6 and 7, but that's what's going on with the Tonverk. So let's have a listen to some of these elements by themselves, and I'll talk through some of the other bits and pieces that I'm doing. So the first thing is with the black joystick too, I'm not using the gates like I said. I'm using the y-axis to control the exciter for scanned to be able to kind of kick that off. And I'm using the same control voltage to change the strength. So if I come up and I just do like a small, just as it gets into the positive voltage for the Y, it'll kick it off, but you can see there's not a lot of strength there. The LEDs will kind of blink as to how strong the signal is. So because I've got this going into the strength, if I go all the way up, I don't know if you can see, but that's actually getting a little bit brighter. And I've got some modulation. I should just say I've got a whole bunch of modulation coming out of the Sloths. Everything's being modulated, just modulate everything, and the Sloths is absolutely amazing from Nonlinearcircuits. Just a beautiful, long, kind of semi-random sine wave, smooth control voltage. You've got no control over the speed, but the 3 different channels are all running at different speeds, and they're kind of interrelated, so sort of like when one's going up, the other one's going down, so almost kind of like makes it breathe in a way. And I love the Oct from DivKid and Instro. I love the Oct, but I just couldn't afford it for this rack, so I've just got a Sloths going in here. And then the other bit of modulation that's going on is this Vulcan modulator from Livewire. This is one of the very, very first modules that I've had. I've been in Eurorack for quite a while, and I kind of pulled this out of a box that I found. Kind of forgotten that I had it and needed some LFOs for this setup, and went, well, let's just drop this in and make that work. And one of the things about this module is it's got some kind of logic comparator circuits, I guess that's what you call them, where it's got min, sum, max and difference. And this is one of the very, very first IntelliGel modules that came out. I remember we did an announcement on the Wiggler forum and said I'm doing this expansion for the Vulcan modulator because Livewire have built all of these different jacks that are on the back of the Vulcan modulator to enable you to put other inputs into the logic circuits. So yeah, it's like a little breakout for it, which is really cool. And plus the other fun thing was being able to reset the LFOs. But I'm a bit clock challenged in here, and I've got MIDI coming out of the Tonverk coming into the bluebox, but all that's really doing is clocking the delay. So FX1 is the delay, and you can see I've got beat on, and so it should be clocking from MIDI clock coming into here. It's a bit, this guy's a bit hard in terms of the documentation. It should send clock out of the clock input when it's receiving the MIDI input, and I think it does. If I plug in an LED cable, it does something. Does it? If I press play? No. See, hard to know. And I don't have anything in here that really needs clocking. I could also use the Dust of Time. This has got some really interesting MIDI capability because it's got MIDI in, and you can route the MIDI clock out of here. But anyway, I'm not doing that. So I'm kind of, this case concept is drone, making drones. That's where I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it in the drone thing. So less clocky, beady, triggering gate stuff, and more just stuff. Good. Okay. Where was I at? Okay, yes. So modulation. So I've got the Vulcan modulator modulating the decarb to LPG, the passive to LPG for Plaits, but we'll get to that in a second. So, and then the other thing that I've got, stay on track. So the other thing that I've got with the Atom is, so the Y is doing the scanned, and I've got that multed over into the strength as well. And then so the X is opening up the exciter of the Atom into the resonator. And the other part that I've got going on is I've got that same signal sent over to the Bright. And that's tending to really give me this nice feedbacky type sound. So let's have a listen. So up and trigger the scanned, and then come across and into the Atom. And then as I bring this across more to the X, you'll hear that kind of feedbacky. And that's because I've got the dampening open all the way, so there's no dampening happen. I've got a bit of reverb. And if I keep opening the bright, and so that's the basics of it. So if I come over to the Tonverk, let's go down to the send, and we'll turn the send all the way off, and you can hear it. And you can see the send is bringing a lot of gain and crunch. But wait, there's more. The other thing is that once this is open, obviously it opens up the opportunity to mix in elements of the different exciters that are in here. So the bow, the blow, and the strike, sorry. But what I've found is, yes, these only kind of have got short attacks to be able to go into the exciter, but the blow is constant. So let's go and blow. And then the other component of this is playing with the position, which kind of does this sort of strange, because the way I understand it is because it's replacing like the body of the drum, it's choosing where the position of, is it like in the rim, is it in the center? Probably making a hand-fisted description of that, but it just creates this really nice so that's that component. Let's jump over and you know what we should do, just for the fun of it, is so track 5, like I said, I've recorded some of that. Let's have a listen. That's that filter stereo spread, because I've got quite a bit of LFO happening on that one. But when we go down an octave and then bring this in, Yes. So do you even sub, bro? Yeah, it just creates that extra bit of body that's sort of happening, but with that stereo space. And then there's just that option of being able to use the reverb and delay. And I'm sending a little bit of it into the 13 sends, so a bit of that sort of distortion going on the filter folder. That's the word that I'm looking for. And the other thing is, as I'm sidechaining that with the kick. Should we listen to that stuff with the kick and the rumble? Maybe we should. I wanted to just see, I'm pretty sure, yeah, and I've got the sidechain. I've got the rumble sidechained as well. Let's have a listen to that with some kick. So that's a bit of cool. There is one last bit that I have set up over here with the Viol Ruina. And so we'll talk about the Dust of Time and Plaits now, but the Dust of Time's doing a thing. You're hearing that drone with the Dust of Time just during the intro. That was like the background noise. So I've just got the Dust of Time coming out stereo into the QPAS, and then using this as a low pass filter and being able to fiddle with that. And track one's also going through some delay and reverb from the bluebox. And we'll talk about this in a second, but the other component that I've got is I've got one of the outputs of the smile pass coming into the Viol Ruina and through into the mangle component and then into the resonator in. So it's sort of bypassing the striker. And so this gives me the opportunity to do some distortion and low pass filtering and a bit of resonance as another sound source going into the resonator of the Atom. So you can hear what this guy's doing. Let's have a listen to that going into the Atom. Some distortion. And then we'll mix the other half in. And let's get some scan and some blow happening. So I think there's some kind of, I think I'm overloading the inputs on this, and so this is even creating some of its own little nasty distortion crunch as well when all three of those sources start mixing into there. So that's really fun. Okay, dust of time really quickly. It's heading over into the QPAS. One of the fun things with the QPAS is it's got a gain input, so you can just kind of totally mute it. Dust of time is really fun. I picked it up really cheap. It was built by a local person here in Australia. The Neutron sound people did this thing called an orgon accumulator, and I always wanted that module, and I think they discontinued that and they made the dust of time. And on this side I've actually got it running as the orgon accumulator oscillator. So there's kind of two sort of complex oscillators, and it even has the braids oscillators in here. You can choose those. It's got swarm, it's got wavetable, and then you use this knob here to be able to mix between the two sides. So on this side I've got a wavetable that's doing some funky stuff. It was talking to me before. And then the last bit is I've got Plaits. It's just in drone mode. It's sending out stereo signal. It's going into the to carb and to carb out. This is a passive dual LPG, so I guess I'm treating it like a stereo filter. I've got the Vulcan modulator doing the modulation or opening up the LPGs. And so if we jump to 4 and unmute that, you can just hear it doing weird things. I've got the timbre and morph being modulated from the Sloths, and it just creates another little kind of drone layer that comes in and out, again using the delay and reverb. And then changing ROM models on the fly. Cool. Track breakdown, feedback drone tones. Love it. Thanks very much for watching and hanging out and going through that stuff. Hope there's been something interesting in there for you. Thanks very much to all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Almost got 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty exciting. I think there's like 925 or something like that. I don't know what happens when you get to 1,000. Thank you though for all of those 925 people that have subscribed, and those few of you that kind of watch this and comment and it's really appreciated. Have fun synthemarizing. Bye.